we're going to wait a minute and then we'll get going here on the live. Just wait on some people to get in here. I did say yesterday I was going live. I tweeted it out over the weekend, so hopefully people know. On Tuesdays, this is my time. This is when we go live. We're going to start taking this time slot and owning it. Making it ours. YouTube takes a little bit to get their invites out. I wish they were a little quicker about it. So, send out some invites. So, whenever you get in here, guys, make sure you send out some invites here. Been in here a minute. No such luck. There's one. Send out some more invites. Give me 1 second and I'm sending out a few more invites here. Then we'll get started. We got nobody. We had one person in here, and then I started sending out invites, and they all left. So hopefully some people get in here, and then we'll get going. I have a lot of stuff to cover. It's gonna be a good video. So let's get some people in here. There's one person in here. We're gonna cover the Super Bowl, the game on side of it, the odds, the over, the under. Looks like a lot of money's come in on Cincinnati. Did anybody see the message from Jarvis Landry to? I did a video on it, but the NFL monetized it, so out of respect, I pulled it down. I talked to them and they told me to make it private, so I made the video private. We'll get it up later. We're working on something with them to get my credentials with the NFL, so I can bring you guys real content. You know, like actually at the game content, at the stadium content. So that'll be cool. That'll be something different coming to the channel. I just got to get that done. I applied for it this morning, so see how long it takes. Maybe by next football season, I'll be able to do that stuff. So we got a lot of stuff going on. There was a lot of coaching changes. A lot of news seemed to go down the last 2 days. Lovie Smith, the new coach of the Houston Texans, he'll make that defense good. They'll be strong. They'll play attack football to the ball. He plays that Tampa too. He's never had a quarterback, so that's good news. Miami got their vacancy solved up with Mike McDaniel, former offense coordinator from San Francisco 49ers. So we'll see how he does. He comes out of that Shanahan scheme and the Shanahan tree. So those guys always seem to have a pretty innovative offense. So there's another guy. And then the Saints, they did the most generic thing, most Saints thing too, but the most generic thing they could do. They made their defense coordinator, Dennis Allen. They just informed him he would be the coach now. So he's now Sean Payton's replacement. And like I said, that's the most Saints thing they could have did. It's kind of generic and below the bar, but Dennis Allen's been in the league for a long time. He's the guy from Bounty Gate and all that, so he's waited his turn. Maybe if they get another quarterback, they'll be all right, but that team's going to struggle. With their best running backs also in jail right now in Vegas for assaulting people. Him and 2 other guys assaulting a man on a strip. I don't know, who knows what provoked that. I always say, you know, they may have assaulted him, but somebody provoked it. Somebody that led up to that. So, you know, what did he say to cause that? You know, or whatever. But they're adults. They got to behave themselves. The spread's 4.5. So we got a 4.5 point spread. It was 4.5 earlier this week, and then it dropped to 4. Now it's back to 4.5. The money line, when I last looked, was 190 Cincinnati. So that means most of the money's coming in on Cincinnati. Most of America believes Cincinnati is going to win, but you know, everybody likes the underdog. Cincinnati's got a good team. Joe Burrow 7-0 in big, you know, in big games and postseason games, dating back to his college career. 3-0 this year. He won 3 games, and the 3 games he won this year, you know, everybody doubted him. So, you know, he's got what it takes. But that defensive line is just going to be really hard to stop. Aaron Donald's a beast, and you get the pressure up the middle like that, and the quarterbacks, they just can't handle pressure up the middle like that. They just that in your face is too much for guys a lot of times, and that causes your pocket to break down, and that exalts running lanes. When you got a guy like Aaron Donald, you got to double him. So when you got Von Miller on the other side, and if you double him, you can't double everybody on the field. Each team only gets 11 guys. So when you're doing that, even if they run a 4-man rush and don't send anybody, the 4 versus 5, you can still only double one guy without having to keep people in, or tight end or a back to chip. So the line's the problem for Cincinnati. If Cincinnati had a good offensive line, they'd probably be the favorite in this Super Bowl. But they don't. So they could have took Penei Sue at the draft. They took Chase. I'm not arguing that pick. Chase has proved to be a beast. You know, he's probably maybe be one of the next greats. I don't know. This is his rookie season, so time will tell. But it's on to my eye. But you know, it's too early for that. But we'll see. But the LSU receivers seem to be really good. Speaking of LSU receivers, anybody see the video of Jarvis Landry at Media Day calling Odell Beckham? And that was a really cool video. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. I put it up on the channel, but that was one of the videos that got demonetized by the NFL. They gave me a claim instead of a strike, which was nice of them. I appreciate that. But if you haven't seen that video, go look it up. It's really cool. He gives a little heartfelt message, and they share some pleasantries, and it looked really good. The over-under is 48.5. I think. Let me look at this. I got it wrote down. Can't remember everything. It's 48.5 is the over-under, and the spread's 4.5. So right now, the Rams are basically a home team because they play in their home stadium. So they're really favored by about 1.5 better is what Vegas is telling us with that. And so it's kind of a pick 'em game. I haven't made my pick yet. I'll give that to you guys later on in the week. I'll get on here and make a video, and a picks video like I do every week, and I'll pick somebody. We did okay this year picking. I told you about Cleveland. They wouldn't make the playoffs. Take that. That was a good futures bet. Paid off. Told you Cincinnati would win the division. That was a good futures bet. I didn't pick them to go to the Super Bowl, but maybe I should have. So I knew Cincinnati was going to be good. The Rams are. I wasn't sure because of Matthew Stafford. You just never know. And but 48.5 is the over under. I would, at this point, I would say take the over. They're gonna score. There's gonna be some fireworks in this game. I think it's either gonna be a shootout or it's gonna be a hard-fought defensive game, but there's still going to be points. I mean, it's just they're bound to score. There's too much talent on both the offensive sides of the ball for both these teams. And moving forward, did anybody see the Kyler Murray stuff? I guess he scrubbed his media, social media of all Cardinal stuff. And there was a reporter in Arizona reporting that he wants to be traded. And he gave 4 teams that he wants to be traded. I don't know why everybody picks 4 teams, and they pick like the most random ass teams that you could think of. But he picked 4 teams, and the 4 teams that he supposedly gave to this writer, which I don't know because it's somebody I hadn't heard of, so I don't know how credible the source is. But I'm gonna tell you the story so that you guys can do what you want with it, and make your own decisions. But I guess he gave 4 teams, and the 4 teams were Denver, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, and New Orleans. Would you like to see Kyler Murray at any of those 4 teams? I don't think they would trade him within division, so it's a good thing he didn't pick any NFC West teams. I doubt they'll trade him within conference, but him at Green Bay would be fun if Aaron's gone. Maybe, and then it'd maybe be a good replacement for Big Ben. Pittsburgh don't normally go out and make big blockbuster trades though, so it's probably unlikely. You're probably going to have to give up at least 2 first-round picks to get them. And with that being said, you give up 2 first-round picks. You're basically the Rams for the next 2 years. I mean, they don't have a pick for like 30 years, but they're in the Super Bowl, so obviously you don't need them if you get the right guys. The bus is probably the last big trade. Yeah, the bus was probably the last big trade because he come from the Rams. Speaking of the Rams, I think they signed Kevin Green that year also, which gave them that duo on the outside of Green and Lloyd. So I don't know. I mean, where would you like to see him? Would you like to see him in Pittsburgh? Is Murray a guy you want? He threw a lot of bad picks, but he's an exciting player. He definitely brings some fire to the show. He's still following OU in basketball, football. He follows Duke basketball, I've seen. But he has nothing to do with his NFL team. And he follows the NFL, but not the Cardinals. So yeah, he was, and then he wiped it all out. So that's kind of neat. I seen a report that said Davante Adams would be interested in signing in 3 different locations. The one I just think he just put on there as a stick him to Green Bay for the way he feels. But the other 2 seem more realistic. Denver was one of them. The Raiders was one. And then the stick him one I think was, he said Chicago, but I highly doubt he's going there. I don't think he's going there. He's a better quarterback than anyone. Yeah, he's definitely a better quarterback than anybody on the Pittsburgh roster. I mean, the Steelers don't have a starting caliber quarterback on their roster, and Kyler Murray is a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL. I mean, he's proven that. He's an exciting player to watch too. So you got to watch because he always makes that one mistake, And a lot of times, guys that run around a lot, and they're athletic, and they've been the most athletic guy in football every time they've played for years. Throughout their whole life, they're the most athletic guy, they're the fastest guy, or they're the biggest guy, or whatever. Those guys always believe they can do more than they can sometimes, and that's where I think Kyler makes a few mistakes. He believes he has a bigger arm than he does, or he believes he's faster than he is, and that's where those little bit of problems come from. I did see that Christian Kirk's mom liked the tweet. Somebody said we got to get Christian Kirk away from Kyler Murray so he can show he's a good slot receiver. And Christian Kirk's mom, Melissa Kirk, she wrote, amen. So I did see that. That was kind of a jab at Kyler from Christian, or from his mom. But hey, Christian Kirk could go somewhere else, or they get somebody in there. He's a good slot receiver. He had almost 1,000 yards, and look at the receivers that they have on that team. You got Hopkins, Green. He's a shell of himself, but whatever. But they got a ton of weapons on that offense, and he had almost 1,000 yards. He had 900 and some yards. So Christian Kirk's actually a decent receiver. He plays the slot really well. He's a fast guy. He was highly touted coming out of A&M, I think it was, Texas A&M. But just a lot of, and then what else happened? Yesterday was super busy. I did like a bunch of videos, put them out. I had to pull some of them down because just couldn't do it. Oh, Dana White. Anybody see Dana White trying to convince Tom Brady not to retire? He wants him to go to the Raiders. He told him his family can live in L.A. It's a 45-minute flight. You can fly up here, live in L.A., get on a 45-minute flight, fly up here, go to the games. And I don't know, maybe it'd work. But Brady said that he'd have to think about it, so he didn't roll it out. But I don't think Brady's coming back. I think he's done. It was just a cool story. I seen it on, I think he did it on Instagram Live, is where I seen it at. But so Dana White of the MMA is trying to get Tom Brady to go to the Raiders. That's different. And then what else happened? Yesterday was just, it's like they just dropped all the news on us. I covered the coaches and stuff. So, any questions from you guys? Anything going on? Anything you guys seen that I didn't? Because there's, we got after the Super Bowl, we had the draft. The AFC won the Pro Bowl, which was cool. So, you've seen the pictures of Kyler and CeeDee Lamb at the Pro Bowl. That was pretty cool to see also. But we just have a lot of, there's just a ton of stuff going on. We're gonna have draft videos coming up. I'll do a mock draft for the first round, and then for the teams that don't have you missed all the sports news from yesterday. Well, it wasn't a day to miss. There was a ton of stuff going on. Everything. I mean, like all kinds of stuff was dropping. The Kyler Murray stuff for you, I think you're a Steelers fan. I've seen you comment many times about him, so that was probably big news for you. I had a pretty cool video up about the Steelers, and it got demonetized, so I had to take it down. But I didn't have to, but I did it because I applied for my credentials with the NFL, so we'll be able to go to the stadium and bring you guys real content, which is really cool. We just got to see if we get them. But if nothing else, I got a press pass and a media pass or whatever, as I joined a media organization today, so I could apply. But I had to get approved for that originally, so this has been in the works, and if we do, we'll get down to some training camps, and we'll do some other cool things like that when that happens. Oh, the new defense coordinator. I did a video on that. Tavon Austin. Yeah, Tavon Austin's new Pittsburgh defense coordinator. He was in my Pittsburgh video. I did a video. I didn't mean for it to be a Pittsburgh video, but it seemed like everything I talked about in there was Steelers content. So I just switched up the title and made it a Steelers video because it was 90% Pittsburgh. And they just had a lot of news come out. And I seen that T.J. Watt liked the hiring, so that's a good thing if you're a Steelers fan. Anybody got any predictions on anybody got any ideas who you're going to predict to win the Super Bowl? Are you taking the Rams, the Bengals? You guys have any favorites? Anybody you believe or want to win? If you do, just put them in the comments. But we got to, there's a ton of stuff happening. This has been a pretty exciting week. And I'm only going to run a few more minutes, so I'll take whatever. So we'll do whatever questions you guys want to do. If there's anything that I missed, you guys want to talk about, just let me know. We got a lot of we had covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time on this video. So, if there are any questions, we got the Bengals by 11. If the Bengals win by 11, a lot of people are going to win money in Vegas. Because they're 190 plus on the Bengals. So if you would have took the Bengals at the beginning of the year and you would have put $200 on them, you would have won $25,000. If you took the Bengals now to win the Super Bowl and you put that same $200 on them, you'd win $10. Because they have 100, the money line's at 190 in favor of the Bengals. Even though the Rams are favored, but all the money's in on Cincinnati. It seems like all the money's on Cincinnati. I'm going to have to dive in and see where the smart money is before I make my final decision and pick. And that video will be coming later this week when we do our picks video. We always do the picks video. We did pretty good this year on the picks video. We did, if you took the advice, yeah, you had a rough week last week, but the playoffs hasn't been kind to us. It just really hadn't been. But the first week was really good to us. We've done good on the over under all playoff long, all season long, and we did good all year long leading up into the playoffs. So, but anyways, these underdogs winning with field goals has killed us. These guys winning games with field goals and not covering the spread. That's killed some of the betting. But hey, that's the NFL though. That's what makes it exciting. That's why it's called gambling. You don't always win. But if we won enough all throughout the year, so we're still doing okay. I guess I'm gonna wrap this up. Just we did about 23 minutes of live. So thank you guys for watching, and till next time, keep your eyes open for videos. Please make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share this content. I greatly appreciate it, and it helps me a lot. It helps the channel grow, and the channel can only grow with you guys. So thank you guys, and have a great day. So I figure out how to turn the live off. I don't know.